Welcome back to Why Does This Dog Look Like That? Today we are talking about the origin story of dogs. How the heck did we get all of this from this? The answer is wild, and I'm pretty sure by the end I'll convince you that dogs truly are mankind's longest running and most epic project. So around 50 to 70,000 years ago, a wave of early humans were dispersing out of Africa and spreading across the Eurasian continent. Here, they encountered another highly social and intelligent predator that, like humans, hunted large game over large distances. This inevitably led to a lot of tension as human expansion encroached on wolf territory. It's likely that many of the early human-wolf interactions involved either us stealing their kills or them stealing ours, or everyone just straight up killing each other. However, the fact that wolves also live in small structured familial groups that require high levels of cooperation to thrive turned out to be a magical formula for our alliance. Our social natures are highly compatible, and eventually we were able to instinctively integrate members of the other species into our familial units. But how does that process even begin? When we talk about true domestication, we're referring to the process of selectively breeding animals over thousands of generations, slowly modifying them to suit our needs. So it's a much longer and more complex process than merely snatching up a wolf pup and raising it to be tame, although it's believed that some ancient cultures did do just that. In reality, between roughly 20 and 40,000 years ago, there were a spectrum of interactions between humans and wolves that slowly evolved into a mutually beneficial relationship, and surprisingly, it was probably wolves that actually initiated this process. Wolves are known to scavenge, and humans tend to leave a lot of scraps, so a subset of wolves that were naturally less aggressive or even friendly towards humans were able to hover around human camps, eating their leftovers without being chased off. And humans, conversely, started to realize that having friendly wolves around wasn't such a bad thing. Wolves and humans have complementary senses. While humans have extremely sharp vision and intelligence, wolves have outstanding smell and hearing, and are especially alert at night, making them highly valuable as guards. Wolves are also amazing long-distance trackers and game herders, and humans can execute kills via spears and projectiles and significantly reduce the risk of injury for the wolf. This alliance proved to be greater than the sum of its parts, greatly enhancing the survivability of the wolves and humans that were the friendliest and most cooperative with the other. This cycle was run for thousands of generations, and by around 15 to 20,000 years ago, the domestic dog had already branched off as a subspecies of the late Pleistocene wolf that would later become the modern-day gray wolf. Considering this was Siberia and also the Ice Age, you can imagine that these proto-dogs may have looked somewhat similar to Malamutes or Huskies, and were likely used for hunting, guarding, and eventually pulling sleds. As the climate warmed after the Ice Age, the newly dog-allied humans started expanding into new territories, taking dogs with them across the Eurasian and African continents, the islands of Oceania, and even across the Bering Strait into the Americas. And in every culture and climate, dogs took on a new role and a new look, planting the seeds for the dog breeds that we know today, which is exactly what I'm going to talk about in part 2, so like and follow, because this is how we take the first dogs and we morph them into all of this, and believe me, the story only gets wilder from here.